Hey guys, I've had a little bit of technical difficulties trying to get this video to work, but it looks like I've finally got it where I want it. As far as getting it to work, what was happening is I'm recording this on my phone and I was having some storage issues, so I had to go through and delete a lot of stuff. I didn't realize that when you deleted photos and videos that you had to delete them out of your deleted photos and videos folder, so that way they'd be permanently deleted. But it looks like I'm gonna have enough space. I'll go over everything I've gone over like 3 times when I thought I was recording and I wasn't. So here, as you can see, I have my Pathfinder character sheet. It's just 2 pages. And it's not a front and back, it's just a front. They're pretty simple, pretty straightforward stuff. So let's get started. On the top right, you'll see some personal information on your character and yourself. I've gone ahead and filled that in. We have my character name, which is just Tatsu Joestar. I've left the alignment blank for now because later on, as we choose a class, they'll have certain alignment restrictions. So we really want to keep that blank until we decided what class we're going to be. Player name is the same, so I just put some quotes. His race is a half-elf, his size is medium, his gender is male, his age is 25, his height is 5'8", his weight is 160, his hair is black, and his eyes are brown. Now, you'll see in the character level that I have filtered in as character level 1. Now, we will be creating a level 5 character for our campaign, and this will also be a level 5 character. But we'll go ahead and start off at level 1 for this tutorial, and when we get to that point, we'll level the character up and assign the extra skill points and things like that when we do. So, on the left, we have our ability scores, other information like HP and speed, initiative, skills, which as you can see is quite a long list. Languages on the bottom. Weapons, saving throws and attack bonuses. All kind of cool information that we're going to need as we play our game. Second page is pretty simple too. Your armor items up top. Gear on the left. Feats and special abilities. Your total weight, money, experience. Spells, a spell chart which says how many spells you know and how many spells per day you can use and bonus spells, all that stuff. And then a list of your spells. You have a spot for 9 of them now. You can always have more than 9 spells, but there's only 9 on this sheet. We can get you another spellcaster sheet if you need one. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I want to do from here, before we even, you might already have a class in mind. I don't for this character. It's fine to start making one and kind of figure it out as you go. But for me, I don't have one yet, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and roll some dice, and then we're going to pick our character. Now, I don't actually have my dice on me. I'm at my dad's house dog sitting for the weekend. I didn't bring them. But what we can do is I can roll some dice on the computer, on a computer program, but it's best if you guys roll your own dice in person. Now, when you're creating a character, I do want you to go ahead and roll dice with someone else there to witness. That's also part of the campaign. It's not that I think that anyone is motivated to lie. It's just in good faith. You know what I mean? It's just in good faith, and to keep everyone honest. It's just a rule I always have when I DM, and no matter who's playing, I could be playing with my best friends, and I'm gonna make you roll in front of me or someone else. So let's get started. We're gonna go ahead and roll some dice. So right up top here. So we have 10, 10, 8. 14, 15, 12. These are our numbers. Now we are a half-elf, so we're going to have some modifiers here. Let's go ahead and check our modifiers. So we're going to go to D20, pfsrd.com. And here is a good website. It's really, really helpful, and it just has everything. So this is just the home page, and they have the core races and half-elves right there. So it has all kind of like history on half-elves and stuff like that, and some physical descriptions, but what we want is modifiers. So standard racial traits. Half-elf characters gain a +2 bonus to 1 ability score of their choice at creation, represent their varied nature. It has their speed on here and everything. So it does say that it has a base speed of 30. So we're going to go ahead and write that down on our speed, because that'll tell us how far we can move during one round of combat. So 30 feet. Okay guys, we're back. We had some storage issues once again. Not a big deal. I'm gonna have to make this a series of short videos and upload them to you guys that way and delete them as I go along. So it's not really a huge deal. Now where were we? We were talking about how, oh yes, the half-elf ability score modifier. It says that that as a half-elf race, you get to add 2 bonus points to any of your ability scores. You see here are our rolls, and here are our ability score chart. We haven't decided where to put them yet. But it lets me add 2 to whichever I want, because half-elves are very diverse, so kind of shows their diversity. Anywho, so now it's time to decide what class we want to be. So let's go and take a look at a list of classes, so we can get a good idea of what matches us best and what we want to do. So I'm going to go and stick to core classes here. Now I could do something more complicated if I really were so inclined to do so. I'm not. I'm just gonna stick to the base classes because it's simple to understand. So let me see here. Go ahead and D20 PF SRD homepage. Core classes are right down there. So let me go ahead. Okay. So we have Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, and Wizard. So I think I'll go ahead and go with Rogue. I really do like being rogues. They have a lot of skill points, and they just have a lot of bonuses to them. So I'll go ahead and choose Rogue. It's just an easy character to create too. So it says alignment any, so that means we can be any alignment we want. Let's be a good guy. I think being a good guy is always fun. Alright, so we decided our class. Let's go ahead and put that down here. While we're at, let's go ahead and decide our alignment as good. So we're gonna be a good guy. Let's be a lawful good guy. Like, you know, we like to stick to. Well, I know we're a rogue. We don't want to be a lawful. How about chaotic good? Because we do like to steal or something. There you go. Chaotic good. So we'll write CG under alignment. Chaotic good. Where actually does it have a spot for our? Huh. Okay. It's a little odd. I don't actually see a spot for our class. Am I missing it? We'll just write it up here for now. We're going to be a rogue. Once we find, I'm sure we'll come across it. There's a spot somewhere. I feel that we're just missing it. Okay. So, we're a rogue. It's official. So, we're a rogue, and so let's go ahead and go through some stuff. So, now, it did say we have a hit die as a D8. So what that means is that we're going to roll 1 D8. That'll be our dice. Now what I'm going to let you do is use a maximum, so we don't have to roll for our health. So you'll just have maximum health, okay? So so you'll start with 8 health at level 1. So let's go ahead and do that under our HP total 8. I'm not exactly sure what DR is. We'll look that up as we get along, but right now we're just going to go and head to the basics. As a rogue, we know that he has certain class skills. Now this is the list of class skills for a rogue. It's going to be very similar for ninjas, assassins, all that stuff. So what we want to do is we want to use our list of class skills to generate a class. Now we know that a rogue is going to need a lot of dex, because a lot of these are dex. As you can see, like it says next to it an abbreviation of what that skill uses, dex. So we know we need a lot of dex for things like stealth, sleight of hand, acrobatics. It's just ninja crap basically. Disable device, and then we want to use charisma for disguises and kind of talking our way out of situations if we can. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and set back up here. Now we are gonna want a good amount of strength for attacks with melee weapons. Now we might have some throwing weapons that we want to use instead, which is good. We're definitely gonna have some shuriken and shit like that. But a dagger, things like that are gonna be pretty useful. So let's go ahead and just, we want our best skill on deck. So we have our 15 over here is our highest skill our highest ability that we rolled. So we're just gonna throw that on dex, okay? Now our ability modifier gives us +2 because we get to choose whatever skill we want to have +2. Let's go ahead and choose our dex. So that means we have a total of 17 dex right now. So it's just gonna be our highest score, our highest roll, because it's our most important score, we know that. And then we went ahead and added our ability modifier to that. Now next, I know we want our constitution and intelligence to be our lowest skills really, because intelligence is used for linguistics knowledge and things like that that aren't really super important to this character. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put that on our list of last. So we're gonna go ahead and put 8 as our constitution. As our intelligence. Alright, so our intelligence is gonna be 8, so we can go ahead and mark that off our list. Oh, I should have just erased it. I don't know why I marked it off. Oh well, I'll just leave it up there for now. And then from there we know that intelligence is going to be our next lowest, so we can just, we have 2 10s here, so kind of help us narrow down the way we want to do this. Now we got to choose charisma, constitution, and strength. I think constitution is going to be our next lowest. Now charisma and strength. Now I think that we want more charisma than strength, because it's just, you're going to be using your skills more than you're going to be in combat. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, don't build your character as a combat revolved character. It's our campaigns are going to be very, very well balanced. Combat is not a typical thing. It's not something you're going to get into every time you turn in the corner in these kind of campaigns. It's going to be, a rare occasion. It's going to be like and it's going to be a very lethal occasion. Anytime you're in combat, you can die. I'm not just gonna, you're ambushed by level 1 thieves on the road. I mean, that happens sometimes, but it's not going to be every time you get on the road. You know what I mean? It's not every time you walk down an alleyway, someone's going to try to mug you. So I think we want our strength to be last. So 14 or 12, not our last bit. So 14 for charisma, 12 for strength. So that gives us a pretty well-rounded character with a good dex. I went ahead and changed this a little bit. It's actually, we're just going to go and put 17 there, and next to it we're going to write +2 because we know we have the racial modifier. So it's never going to change. The racial modifier is never going to go away. So yeah, we went ahead and changed it there a little bit. No big deal. So we've already gone ahead and figured out our ability scores for our character. And now we've got to figure out the ability modifier. Now what this is it's how your score is going to go ahead and relate to your skill rolls, your saving throws, your initiative, etc. So you'll see here there's a lot of spots for like ability modifier. It's just, I'll explain how it works later, but we're going to go and figure it out. Now there's a very useful chart on D20, the D20 site that we're using, D20 PFSRD. So we're going to go start the home score here. It's the home score, the home screen here. And we're going to go ahead and click on ability scores. Okay. And right here there's just determine bonuses or penalties. We're going to click that. There's a really, really, really handy table here. You just can't play this game without this table, okay? So it tells you how many bonus spells per day and what your modifier is. Now we're going to ignore the bonus spells part unless you're a spellcaster. This will come in handy. Here's your ability score and here's the modifier. So it's just a nice handy chart. It's just on D. Here's the actual link. It's very simple to find. Just click on abilities and then find the task bar for the modifiers and bonus spells, and it's right here. So it just tells us. So we're going to go ahead and use that to our advantage here. So our first ability is strength, which has a total of 12 ability score. Now, according to our modifying table, that says that we get a modifier of 1 for 12 and 13. So let's go ahead and go back to our thing here. So 12. So ability modifier is just going to be 1. Dex is 17. Sorry, it's a little bit hard to read. Our dex is 17. And according to our table, as you see right here, I'm going to quit moving add to this so you can just kind of see an example. 16 and 17 are 3. So our modifier for that's going to be 3, and it's pretty weak. A modifier at 3 is actually pretty good, but it's not powerful, but it's good, you know. So like I said, remember we did roll pretty poorly here. Of course, these modifiers will change if we take feats that increase this or anything like that. So that's a 3. Our constitution is a 10, and according to the table, that gives us a 0. So we'll go ahead and mark both our 10s as 0s. 8 is -1, and our charisma is 14, which is 2. Okay, so it's just a really useful table. It's going to tell you basically how it works and how your skills result to modifiers. Now, what is a modifier, you're asking? And okay, so this is a D20 game, Pathfinder is. So almost all of your rolls are going to be d20s, unless you're rolling like attack damage and things like that. Unless it says otherwise, assume it's a d20 roll. So initiative, before combat ever starts, everyone will roll initiative, unless you're doing a sneak attack to start combat, but once combat has started, everyone rolls initiative, and it'll determine the order in which you get to move. So everyone will roll a d20, and then you'll add your initiative modifier, okay? So what does that mean? It says you have a dex modifier and a miscellaneous modifier. So what's our dex modifier, you're asking? Well, that's very simple. It's right over here. Ability modifier for dex is 3. That's our dex modifier of 3. So we're just going to write that down right there. So dex modifier 3. We don't have any miscellaneous modifiers right now, so we can just go ahead and write 0. We might get a miscellaneous modifier later through feats, certain equipments and things like that, kind of give you those kind of things. So, but for now, it's just 3. So what would happen is we'll roll a d20, and let's say we roll a 15, we'll add 3 to that, because that's a modifier, that's a +3 modifier, okay? So we'll add 3 to that, and that'll give us an 18 as a total, and that'll say, alright, so let's say that's the highest roll, the next highest 17, so you'll go first, the guy who rolls 17 goes second, the guy who rolls 16 goes third, and so on and so forth, okay? So I hope that does a good job of explaining ability scores, how they're going to affect your rolls, and the basics of how to generate an ability score and how to choose what abilities to put where.